Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the cooking nurse and this is my very first vlog. It's my birthday and we're going to JINJA, our first family trip, and I'd love to bring you along. So subscribe if you haven't and let's go. Happy birthday to me. So this is us all excited and plumped up for a road trip that we are actually going to go on with no other intentions. So we pray and then set off. And the fact that we have not been outside, for a fun day as a family, we are planning to do a picnic later on. So I'm collecting some of the favorites so that they can feature on the, foods that we're going to be having at the picnic. And I mean, this taxi is saying Nzembe when you're like, I wonder. Yeah, so the road trip was actually fun. We stopped around and the rules were broken. We ate street food. Everything was just nice. It felt good to finally, loosen up and just live without worrying about the bills, worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. Mother your children in peace. This one was a headache. She didn't want anyone else to carry her. The other one didn't want to sit. But it was just all worth it. And then we reached this famous place, Namao Jolo, where they sell these street snacks. The street food business here is like real Ugandan. At the picnic you're going to see I carried a flag, so you'll not have to ask me what do I do for a living. Living this place is work itself. So anyways, we grabbed some few meats on the skewers. I got chicken, I got some of this beef, and I mean, look at these guys. Stand them because man, waking up in the morning to come here and struggle to survive, and then you have to run after moving vehicles is something that is not easy, and they deserve every other single respect there is in the world. Anyways, we are done here. Let's head over to some resort in the forest where we were told there's zip lining, but it actually wasn't there, but the trip was worth it. It was a little bit calm, cool. Took some water from there and came back and headed off because apparently we had left the zip lining place behind, and this place is so magical. It's so calm. Basically, you can say a prayer from this place and God will be like, oh yeah, I am listening now. I can hear you. There's nothing making noise. And here this guy was promising, he's going to come back. So I'm waiting when he says he's taking me back. There's no TV. Yeah, there's a lot of activities to do. But there is Wi-Fi in some allocated areas. So maybe if you ever consider having some quiet time with yourself, then the rainforest in Mavira would be a good catch. So anyways, let's head off to the famous Stone City with its famous bridge. As you can peep, we're already here, and see, if you come here and you do not capture the bridge, you are not serious. You're not a serious Ugandan. You do not love your country, and that's on period. So yeah, this is the River Nile. I've passed here before in my AIM Global days. I don't know if you watched my previous video about my story, then you know what I'm talking about. During AIM Global, I had to travel with one of my partners to Kisumu, Kenya, and yeah, we're doing business there. So I used to pass here, but the bridge was not there, so it was fascinating to finally see it in person, not in pictures. And then we visited the Uganda Railway Museum, which is a new establishment. It tells about the history of the railway and how it all came about and life that actually brought JINJA to where it is. It's a town, when you walk in, you see a lot of ancient vibes. Some of the buildings are like, they actually still look like, if you're in Kisumu, the vibes of the railway stations and those days. So a few things they collected were in the museum, and then there's a lot of writing of things that used to happen in those days and how everything was happening. So it was also fun to actually know how JINJA came on about. And yeah, and they also have this map that shows you how the railway, if you remember very well in primary school, we used to study these things. I think even in high school, study these things, the things that stopped these guys about from progressing and what apart the wild animals eating them. There's a lot of things to learn from here, and this our tour guide was a gem.
Then we have the bridge, the JINJA bridge, the train bridge, which passes around here.
So yeah, we saw a lot of these things, and he showed us how the railway used to like pass through all these corners, the rivers, the bridges, the forest, and there's this art piece, this I think project someone came up with, and it's a little bit fascinating. My son didn't want to leave this place because of this train moving around, but anyways, it wasn't going to be long enough because we only had one day. We had planned to stay here, but of course, me, I don't know, I just don't know. I'm just trying to shift my mindset from, the rigid part to a loosen. I'm a bit more loosened one. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but anyways, the museum part is done, and there's this refurbished train that we are going to go to after. But first, this is the thing that the white guys who had come here as superheroes were using to be pushed around to supervise the works of the railways, the railway. So they would sit here, and the black guys would push them even if they wanted to go to like Kasese. This is the thing they would sit on, and then they are pushed like the kings that they thought they were. Ew. Anyways, now we are pushing this one, me and Sky, because he insisted he wanted to push. Anyways, it was fun. It was fun. He felt like he's the one who was pushing. He couldn't even move one of these things. That thing is heavy. But since I'm a strong one, so yeah, anyways, let's head to the refurbished train that is going to be helping us understand more about this station and the museum. And this is where they also have like, this was where the people used to sit and go from one station to another. Basically, or mainly, the VIP guys. The big guys. We get in and decide to move around, but also there's a TV where they will be showing us the history. There's a small documentary from the past, and he says this is where they watch movies like on Sundays. So this train had some rooms, I think, for those people who would be a little bit tired from doing nothing, and they'd come here and sleep, because the people who were doing the job, actually the black guys, never had a chance to actually rest. But easy. There was even this toilet. I don't know how it worked. Maybe they would just sit there and then the train continues doing and they go scattering. Yo, the drama. But anyways, we're watching the documentary, and they tell the whole story of how this was and how life was back then. And it's actually fascinating, listening to history and understanding where some things come from in this day. And it makes you feel grateful, by the way, because me as I see myself right now, as I am now, I do not understand how I would be, on the railway with someone whipping my back, and I will be alive for more than 24 hours and come back tomorrow. Like, sometimes I just be grateful because I'm born in this era, because, the story here, and myself, I am sure I would have fallen on someone's neck and I would be dead before the railway is done. Yeah. But anyways, it's fascinating that we get to understand these things and be grateful about the smallest things that we tend not to see. So bye-bye the museum, and let's head over to the lake, to the waters. My weirdest fear is I fear water so bad. I cannot swim for a living. I cannot jump. My husband wanted to do bungee jumping, but of course, we just have 2 children. There's no he can just decide to go and kill himself when I'm watching. He will go there alone. So anyways, we came up to this ferry, and it's a cargo ferry. They usually carry like those fuel tanks to across the borders, but it was still loading, so we decided to come up here and check it out. And it looks like a building. It's like a whole building. There's a kitchen, there are toilets, there's everything. Basically, these guys, JINJA Mizigo, it's like they are living in their small town, I think in the middle of the water. They just have everything they want. The view here was enormous. There were these boats moving around. These guys, at first I thought this was actually undoable, like that guy is touching in the water, until we had to cross over to see the source of the Nile and also move over to the other side of the lake for our picnic. We sat in this boat, and I was scared. I was freaking out at the first time, but the guy who was taking the boat kept on telling me, we live here, don't now start feeling like you're so special, at now the water is waiting for you, it's going to kill you. No, relax, live in the moment, and know that you're not the only person on the waters. But anyways, we sailed here, and this is where the Nile has its 0 point. You see where the water is boiling, where it's starting to mix up. They say there is water coming from down, and then the water from the lake, and all mixing up and then forming into a river, and it starts moving. So that is a souvenir place where people buy like stuff. We can do better though, but yeah, that's it. Source of the Nile, and now we are here. This is Tongolo Resort Beach. We came here because we were looking for a place where we can have a fun activity, and as you can see, there is a son and a father who are playing bako. This melts my heart, by the way. I didn't grow up with a father, so seeing my husband doing this with my children makes me so happy. Thank you, babe. If you ever watch this, I know you will. So anyways, we had carried some of these things, and we asked the hotel. They accepted, so we could lay out this picnic and shared a meal with our boat guys, our tour guide, and ourselves. And the day was just as colorful. We had a few games here and there. These ones are obsessed with shapes and colors, and they are not agreeing. This one is saying this is a circle, this is a triangle, whatever. I'm excited they get to do this together, and I am hopeful that the future is going to be more bright and we can have more of these fun activities as a family. Yeah, so if you watched my story, you know how fascinating or how heartwarming this makes me or us, because we are the guys breaking generational curses. We are setting the bar for our children, and we are just doing this as us because the Lord has accepted us and has blessed us, and we cannot take that for granted. So as long as He enables us, we're going to be a good and happy people or family. Look at the sun. Fascinating, yeah? So anyways, the picnic was done, and this guy decided, since I am refusing to go and do bungee jumping and kill myself, he's going to do this quad biking. But of course the sun was on his neck. I know that these children actually know the rules. Like, they will never ask to be in my face the whole time when he's around. They always choose him, which is actually not a good thing now thinking about it. But anyways, I get time to do my own things. And just like that, the day was done, and we had to head back to the land in JINJA where we had left our car. We would have slept here, but by the way, in the middle of that place, I forgot my charger at the beach, so we had to go back there. And when we came back, I told him, by the way, we can't sleep here. So that's how we ended up leaving JINJA in the middle of the night. It was not so late, it was about 8 a.m. We were in the waters in the dark, and we were wondering, what if this guy loses his way? We only find ourselves in like Mwanza. So anyways, we come back, and look how this is beautiful. Oh, Uganda, you did so well, by the way, with this. But anyways, we headed back. We had a flat tire towards the end of the trip, but it was all fixed, and it was a day well spent, and I hope these memories live with us forever. And here is to a new beginning, and this is 28, and I am so excited about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for the wishes. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, help me grow, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.